Hi, welcome to Bailey Preschool. Today we're going to have free art. That is when the teacher tells you that you can go to the art area and you can make whatever you like. Now sometimes that may be a little bit difficult because you might be thinking, I don't know what I want to make. Or you might think, I don't know how to make anything. So Miss Bailey's going to help you with that. I have my friends here with me, Joshua and Adeline, if you remember them. Say hi. 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 Sometimes it might be comforting to have a little friend with you. Now, if you go to school, maybe that they won't allow that, but you can pretend your marker or your pencil is your little friend, right? You have to pretend up here so that you can enjoy whatever you have to do. You have to make a decision to do that in your own head. So, let's see how I will begin. I'm going to think that I would like to make a spring picture. So I have my paper here, and maybe at home you don't have like a piece of paper that's like clean on both sides, or you don't have construction paper at your house, but maybe someone at your house has paper that they use on one side already. Like I made a mistake when I was copying, and so this paper didn't come out so well, but I didn't throw it away because the other side is still clean. So maybe ask someone at your house if they have some paper that's just clean on one side and you can still use it. Because look, when you set it up to draw on it, you can't see what's on the other side, can you? All right. So just use a piece of paper that hasn't been used on the other side yet. So I have my paper here, and since I'm going to make a spring picture, I have to think about what happens in spring, or what do I see in the springtime. And the first thing that's easy to start with for me is the sky, because I don't really have to have any particular abilities or artistic abilities to draw a sky. All I have to do is start at the top with the appropriate color, because the sky is pretty much blue, or some version of like a mixture of blue and white. It isn't brown, so let's think about that. Unless you were making your own creative world, then of course your sky can be brown if you'd like it to be. But today, the sky is blue. So I'm going to just take my marker, and you see how I'm laying it on the side here, and I'm just going to go back and forth with the marker. Now for some reason, this marker looks kind of purple. Does it look purple to you guys, or does it look blue? Am I losing my sense of color here? But it should be blue. So I'm going back and forth. See, I'm just taking a marker. I don't have any particular skill really with this marker. Just going back and forth and making my blue sky. See? Look. That's my sky. I can make it come down a little bit more if I want to, or just come down in one area and stay up in another area. Okay, there's my sky, and I just took the crayon and went across like this with the crayon. See? That's it, easy. You just take your hand and go back and forth, back and forth. Okay? Then I have to think about, okay, since I made my sky, let's make the ground. And it's a nice spring day, so I'm going to make some grass. And there are different ways that I can make the grass. I could use that same technique. Joshua, can you move over for me? Thank you. And instead of taking the marker this side, I can just turn it this way, and I can go like that, right, the same way. Or I can make lines, what we call in elements of art, just make straight lines up and down to illustrate tall grass. You see? So I'm just making lines straight up and down. Or I can keep going like that to go faster. Some of you want to finish faster. So you might go up and down like that. Okay, or more straight lines. You have to decide what you want your grass to look like. And in some areas outside, you know how the grass looks nice and full and green and healthy. In other places, it might look scraggly. So we have that combination. So far I have my sky and I have my grass. Now, this might be where the hard part is, because you're like, I can't draw. Don't look at what your friend has next to you, what they're doing next to them. Don't look at them. Just concentrate on your own paper. And in the spring, what do we have? Name some things that we have in the springtime. Yep. Oh, okay. We have flowers. Now, a flower, anybody can draw a flower. You probably remember one of your lessons with your teacher about parts of a flower, and that flowers, or one of the first things we're going to start out with is the stem of the flower, right? So maybe we have, usually the stems are green, so we will have our flowers sticking up here. And if you had a very detailed lesson, you might have learned about the roots of the flower. What color would the roots of the flower be? Brown. And you have to make them at the bottom because they're the roots, right? So maybe you could draw that if you wanted to. Now, the flower part. If you remember, we did some shape lessons. If you can draw a circle, you can draw a flower. So I would just start right here where I stopped with my stem and go around and make a circle. The best circle I can make. It's not perfect. Doesn't have to be. See? There's my circle. If you know how to make the circle shape. If you know how to make the oval shape, you can just put lots of oval shapes around your flower. See? Lots of oval shapes I'm putting around my flower. Maybe I want to put a little circle in the middle of my flower. You can even use the oval shape to make your stem, your leaves on your flower. Look at that. Miss Bailey is not an artist, but I just use the shapes and I put them together, and then it's becoming a picture. Now, I can also make the sun, because in the springtime we want the sun to be out, right? I'm going to use a yellow crayon for the sun, or a yellow marker here for the sun. I made a circle. I'm going to use the side of the marker again to just go inside and color it. See? And maybe your sun has rays. You can make lines coming outside of it to make rays for your sun. Or you can do something called zigzag lines. That's when we take our marker and we just go up, down, up, down, up, down, like making triangles, and that's the zigzag. See? So you can make rays, or you can make zigzags to fill in your sun. Now, there is also something just called curved lines. What if we wanted to make birds? I heard someone out there said that there are birds in the springtime. So we're gonna make some birds, and I will use my brown marker. And this is called a curve right here. Look, this is a curve. And I will just make two curves next to each other, and there's my bird flying near the sun. You can put it a little closer. Can you see it? Look, it's called a curve. See? You go curve, curve. There's a big bird right there. Not big bird like Sesame Street, just a big B-I-G bird. Okay. So now we have some birds on our spring picture. What else could we make? Think. What else is springy? What if we made a bumblebee? Again, we make the oval shape, and then we want to give him some wings. Those are also oval shapes. And then we could use a black marker to make, again, lines. Just putting lines across it, and there's our bumblebee. Look, I made a bumblebee. Now, what if there's a lake nearby on this spring day? So maybe what shape would we want our lake to be? I'm just gonna make a big square back here. The square has 4 equal sides. There's my square. See, 4 equal sides. And I'm gonna put waves of water in it. And these are called wavy lines. Look, wavy lines. Because this wavy look makes it look like the water is moving. See? Wavy lines, curvy lines, straight lines, zigzag lines. What else could we make? We can make some diagonal lines to show maybe a pathway. Yeah, then I could walk on the pathway. Yeah, then Adeline could walk on the pathway. So let's see. Our pathway, we need diagonal lines. We'll make a diagonal line from the water. And another diagonal line. Let's see. And there's our pathway. And maybe we want to put a nice little house near the pathway. So I'm going to make a square, 4 equal lines again. And I'm going to put a triangle on top of it. All I'm doing is using shapes. You know how to make shapes to make a picture. That means if you can draw the shapes, you can draw a picture. So you have to practice your shapes. Then I'm going to put some little squares inside of my big square to make windows. And then a rectangle, that means 2 long sides, 2 short sides for the door. See? And all I did was use lines and shapes like ovals and circles, diagonal lines, the square, the triangle, the oval. And all those shapes help me to make a picture. So if you can't think of what you want to make when you have free time to make a picture, how about you start with a shape and maybe let that shape give you an idea of what else you can make. I just thought of something else. What if we made, look, if I put this shape, what shape is that? I'm making, that's a triangle, but I'm gonna make it like it's a cone for ice cream. Strawberry, I put a circle on top, and now I have strawberry ice cream for my spring day. I'm gonna use the red marker and put a cherry on top. And if you don't feel comfortable drawing a person yet, you can make what we call a stick person. I'm just gonna make a straight line down, a diagonal line for the legs, diagonal lines for the arms, a circle on top for the face, a dot. See, if you make dots, just putting 2 dots at the top, a dot in the middle, there are my eyes and my nose, a curved line, there's my mouth. For my person, if I want to give them some hair, I can just put some more straight lines. See? I don't know how cute he is, but there he is. And he's walking towards that ice cream cone on a beautiful spring day. So all I did, guys, was use lines and shapes. I used zigzags, curves, dots, and I made a picture. All right, guys, make some pictures. Bye.